Building a great collection doesn't happen overnight, and it also doesn't happen without knowledge, identity, focus, patience, or analysis. Today, I'm sharing a roadmap to success with 5 can't-miss hacks to build a collection you'll love. Let's data dive. Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Data Dive powered by Market Movers. My name is Tyler Nethercott, better known as Teapot, in our brand new studio. I'm so excited to be here. This is a new level of pressure with all these people behind me. Apparently I'm being live streamed behind me and I can't see that, thankfully. This week, I want to talk to you about building up your dream PC. This video is for collectors. But Teapot, you work for Sports Card Investor. You guys don't actually collect. Well, I do. We all do. And I think that you're really going to want to watch this episode if you do too. And even if you don't collect, it's time to get started with this video. As always, this video is brought to you by Market Movers. Visit marketmoversapp.com and use promo code DIVE and you'll get 14 days completely free to try out Market Movers and then 20% off for life as long as you're subscribed. That's up to $8 a month, as cheap as $8 a month. So go sign up for Market Movers right now and let's get into the data. All right, the first thing that you need to have, the foundation for everything, is knowledge. You need to know what cards exist. You need to know what your options are. You need to do your research. And you can't start building a great collection if you don't know any of those things. So I've got some tips here for you that I'm gonna walk through, some things that I think will really help you, all the way from any of you who might be new to collecting, maybe up to the more seasoned veterans. So first of all, obviously, our Sports Card Investor channel, we have a lot of different content over there. One of the big goals I have here is to educate, but we also have a Sports Card Investor University playlist. We go through kind of the 101 of sports card collecting, and then we dive into specific sport by sport by sport and all the nuances of each of those sports. So if you haven't watched that and you're relatively new to cards, or you're thinking about getting into a new sport that you've never dabbled in before, you're going to go over here, go to the SCI channel and click on playlists, and then you will see the full playlist here for SCI University. The next thing, we've got a Dummies book coming out. I might have mentioned this in the past, Sports Card Collecting and Investing for Dummies. This comes out April 9. This is written by myself, Jeff, and Ben from our team. And we're really excited about this. So if you love collecting, this one's for everybody, truly for everybody. I know it's a For Dummies book and we're really excited to partner with Wiley as part of this. But honestly, we tried to make sure there's something for everybody. We've got history of the cards, types of card stock, all kinds of information about collecting, investing. You might not like the whole book, but you're sure to like most of it. Go check out the Dummies book. Now, next up, checklists, Cardboard Connection, Trading Card Database, Beckett's website, ComC. These are all great websites to see what cards exist in the checklist. On some of the sites you can find pack odds. There's also a really great site called Baseball Cardpedia. You can just Google Baseball Cardpedia. If you're into baseball cards, that's got a whole, it's like Wikipedia for baseball cards, like it sounds. So that's a great resource. And then another great one, just find people who are really knowledgeable and go and, listen to what they have to say. I'm always blown away when I watch Sports Cards Live and Adam Gray and Jeremy Lee, who's the host, do their, kind of analysis of the PWCC Premier Auction. He's had Adam on there for other things. These guys are passionate collectors, very knowledgeable about a wide array of sports, especially basketball cards and hockey cards. So go check them out. And then likewise, I mentioned the Spitball and Cards podcast. Honestly, these 4 guys on the screen have a lot more experience diving deep into checklists for baseball cards. They each kind of have their niche and their corner. This is a great podcast. I always learn a lot listening to them talk, and I'm really honored to be a part of that podcast as well. Next up, you want to develop what your collector identity is. And I'm not going to spend a ton of time on this. I mentioned this video when I highlighted my top videos that I've ever done, my favorite videos that I've ever done. You want to go check out this 27 types of card collectors video. It's over on the Sports Card Investor channel. So you can just type it into YouTube, or you can type it into the little search box under videos on that SCI channel while you're over there for SCI University. But there's so many different ways you can collect. Some of them very obvious, player collecting, team collecting, sport collecting, but there's a lot more creative ones, set collectors and other things. So if you don't feel like you have a clear collector identity, go over, check out that video and make sure to leave me a comment. I always love when people leave a comment on an older video that came out a long time ago. Lets me know that people are still getting value out of that. Third thing on the list, focus. And if you didn't catch it so far, I've been stealing little shots from my intro video, which is one of the more fun things that I've been able to do as part of recording content. I've got 3 different Instagram accounts that I use, and that in some ways is a major pain. because I'm getting DMs on the different accounts. I primarily stay logged into this Drummond Card Collector account. That's my main one. Whoops, I jumped ahead too fast. That's my main account, and that's usually where I'm corresponding with people. But I do have Teapot's cards, which is kind of everything that's not under these two. I listed these two here because it's nice to have your collection compartmentalized. And one thing I've struggled with is focus. I'm stumbling all over here. I'm carrying boxes of sealed product. Having focus and really identifying and narrowing your scope into something can help mitigate that FOMO. That I call it Pokemon syndrome. You got to catch them all. This is honestly, if there's something in the sports card collecting space that I struggle with the most, it's this. There's nothing wrong with having an eclectic collection, collecting a lot of different things, but having focus can really help ensure that you get those cards that you really want. And speaking of focus, I previewed this a little bit too quickly. Austin from Carlson Cards, he sells a lot on eBay. He does a lot of grading submissions. He's had a lot of content. He's taking a little bit of a pause right now because of some personal news that he shared on his channel. So if you're interested in that, go check that out. But he's still got a ton of great resources. He really has a lot of focus. And specifically, one of the things that I've been really enjoying seeing from him is that he's going after this 2013 Select Gold run, Veterans and Legends, and he's got the checklist mapped out. If you have any of these cards or if you come across any, make sure to send him the link if you're interested in selling or if you just happen to stumble across one. But he's kind of tracking his journey as he goes. These are really beautiful cards. Honestly, they're, in my opinion, just as impressive as the 2012 Prism Golds that you see everybody lose their minds over, and maybe rightly so. But these ones are really stunning cards, very simple, great action shots, and the checklist is fantastic. I think this was a really smart project for him, and it's been really fun to watch him do that. And in a similar manner, he's gone after Peyton Manning gold runs. He's carved out for himself a very clear collector identity, which helps him when he's buying a lot of other cards and grading them. I'm sure he gets cards back and goes, gee, this is a really nice card, but you know what? This doesn't slot into my collection theme, so I'm gonna go ahead and let it go so I can continue to chase after these other goals. The next thing, patience. You've gotta have patience. You never know when that big card will come along. I've had so many cards in my Drummond collecting, especially when you're looking for one of ones. You might just like lose hope. Like this card's never gonna show up. It's never gonna show up, and then bam, it pops up. Or you create an Instagram account with your collection name in your handle and your Instagram username so that people can find you easily. And somebody stumbles like, wait a minute, Drummond Card Collector, I've got 3 old Drummond one-of-ones. That actually happened to me at the National 2 years ago, 3 years ago? I guess it was 3 years ago in Chicago. I had a guy who actually found my account. He had mostly a personal account on Instagram, but he had actually been PCing Drummond earlier in his career before I did. He's a big Pistons collector, big Jerry Stackhouse collector. He had, I don't remember, I bought like 15 Drummond one-of-ones off of him, including a few cards that I was really chasing after. So you never know when those cards are gonna pop up. Recently, this is a really cool story, Victory Investments. He's got awesome, hilarious content, satire, rapping about the sports cards, all kinds of things. Really good guy, Sean. Go check out his account, and you can read through this. You can pause the video or go look at his account. But he was looking for this card for a long time. He's going after Patrick Mahomes, I think Prism and Optic gold runs, for sure Optic golds, but pretty much any gold Mahomes or gold Chiefs, send them his way. And he was looking for this one. He needed this one. And he kept putting it on his story. Every week I would see it. If anybody has this card, if anybody has this card, and then all of a sudden, boom. He finds one. He gets a lead from Casey Sports Card Collector, who sends him to Wildcard Journey. They work out a trade, and now he's hit his goal. So sometimes you've got to have that patience and perseverance. And on an Instagram story, don't be afraid to throw it up there regularly. You never know who's going to see it. After all, those do expire every 24 hours. Lastly, analysis. And here comes the shameless plug, right? Even if you're just a collector, even if you don't like to invest, Market Movers has something for everybody. You still want to know that you're getting fair pricing. You still want to probably be able to track your collection and just catalog it and have it available. So I'm going to jump over and I'm going to show you something that I really want to make sure you're aware of. Now, firstly, I'm going to go over to our dashboard actually, and I'm just going to point out something. We have now 2.7 million featured cards in our database, and this is accelerating. This is accelerating very, very fast, and we're going to keep speeding that up. We plan to try to take the lid off of that this year. So keep your eyes peeled for that. Now, what do I mean when I say featured cards? What I mean is when you click into the quick search, you're going to see featured cards. Those are all the ones we add in the structured data for. We write the query, we pull in the data, 95 to 100% accuracy, and we try to make sure that we can source the data easily so you don't have to do all of that in a spreadsheet or with saved searches or all those other things trying to narrow it down. That's especially valuable on base cards. If you've ever tried to search for a base card on eBay, you know that you have to subtract everything else from it, all the other variations, silver, green, red, purple, yellow, whatever. We do all that work for you and we store it. And then we've got sales history, which is all the rest of the transactions from eBay, PWCC, Golden, Heritage, Pristine, MySlabs, and we've got some more data sources coming. So that's what sales history is. When you're in your collection, you can add cards one of two ways. When you click on Add Cards, you'll see this Add Manual. So this is going to search our featured card database. If you don't find it, you can add that card as a manual card. And I just want to pause right here to show, even if you're just collecting, this is a great way to show off your collection. Imagine coming up to people at a show and you've taken the time to put images in of your favorite cards, your favorite manual cards in your collection, and you just want to show people. You pull up Market Movers collections, available on mobile the same way, and you can scroll through and you, oh man, I've never seen that card before. I've had this interaction with people and it's really, really fun. Specific to manual cards, I'm going to click on this button. It's going to filter me down to just my manual cards. These cards, the downside, they do not update the price every day automatically. Why? Because we didn't write the query for these yet. What you can do is a manual price check. I call it a 2-click price check. So I've got this Adolis Garcia, right? He was very hot, obviously, in the playoffs for the Rangers, onto a World Series. You see this little check value. This is on mobile, this is on web. And if you're on this gallery view, all you have to do is hover over like this and click on the check value. But I find it's a little easier on the list view here. I click on this, it's gonna pull it up, and bam, I get all the sales history. What it's doing is it's running whatever search query I want to specify here against our sales history repository. So I left this one open-ended, very simple. Why? Because sometimes I like to see what the card is selling for in a slightly different variation or in a different grade, just in case the version that I have hasn't sold recently. But let's say I didn't want to do that, and I do minus red, and then let's say I want to do minus SGC, just to show you, for example, and I hit Save Query. And now it's going to update that query very quickly, and it's going to show me all these prices. This automatically populates this value with the last daily sales average. So if there were multiple sales this day, it would average it out, but here you have $36, right? So I can just hit Save Value. I can also manually override this if I want to choose something else, or I can use any of these prices. I'm just going to hit Use Price. It's going to update the value of that card for me. I'm still up $19 on this card from when I bought it. And that's how the 2-click price check works. This is so useful on mobile, and it's so much faster than trying to have to manually look up the values of all of your cards. This is a tool that I was really excited about implementing, and I think it really helps bridge the gap between those featured cards automatically tracking prices and being able to still do it very, very quickly yourself. So it's one time, put in whatever query, however specific you want, and then you can go and find those sales results. So those are my top 5 hacks to growing a great collection. I'm super excited for the release of our Dummies book because we really get into every aspect of collecting and investing. And I want to let you know about one thing too. If you haven't, I mentioned Adam Gray, Basketball Card Fanatic magazine. I'm writing articles in this every month. We've got index information, and then he's got awesome interviews and lots of other things. You want to go to bcfmag.com and use promo code SCI over there, and you'll get a discount on this subscription. If you're into basketball cards, this is a can't miss. They have digital copies, they have hard copies like this one. It's a really exciting production, and if you're into collecting basketball cards, this is a must-have. Now, your job is to let me know down in the comments, what are your top tips for building a great PC? And while you're down there, do me a huge favor and like this video. Make sure to subscribe and share it with a friend. Thanks so much for watching. Until next time, happy investing, keep on collecting, and make sure to have fun.